Okay, so once we have the mesh picked, the next phase is fitting. And just hit the fit button and it will put you into a stage where you can adjust a few parameters around the jaw and a few other things before you go on to the final solve. Okay, so that was about a minute for the for the fitting, and this is where it leaves you. So you have several things you can adjust here at this point before you commit to the solve, and just walk you through briefly what those options are. For one thing, you can adjust the neck spine, so you can tweak that out however you want it. Oftentimes we don't use head motion from Face Robot since it's kind of put back underneath an enveloped mesh in an animation file later. So typically I don't have to even adjust these, but if you're doing a head motion within Face Robot, then you'd want to tweak these to be nicely fitted. The other thing is you can check eye centers to make sure they actually are where you want them. And you can also adjust the jaw hinge, and I usually do that from a side view, and sometimes I need to just kind of adjust this to be a little more realistic. And the other main thing is the jaw curves, which is all the curves you see here, and you can hide the pieces of this that you don't want to see. So we don't need the eyes or the jaw or the neck. And what these curves represent is kind of boundaries of the jaw deformer that will move these verts around later. You have an upper limit on this curve, which usually comes in by default pretty nice. You have a lower limit, which is also fine here. And then the two curves in the middle kind of define the area that will have a bulge in between those limits. This second curve is fine where it is. This one I would probably adjust a little bit to smooth that out. One nice little thing you can do here is turn on your snapping to surfaces, and that way when you adjust these it'll just snap right back onto the mesh. You don't have to worry about it being incredibly accurate that way. So something like that is good. The only other thing I would do in this fitting stage is check the clusters for the ears, because it makes a default set of clusters at this stage, and you can see it's got a left ear cluster and a right ear cluster, and they don't have to be dead on. It tries to find what the ear is, and if it's not perfect it doesn't really matter at this stage. It's easier to fix later with weight painting, but you just want to check and make sure that you don't have like one of these clusters taking half the head. If you have characters with strangely modeled ears or no ears, it'll try and find something to be an ear, and in some cases it can grab way too much, and that can cause you some pain later if you don't catch it now. So I usually just check those really quick, and in some cases I'll just remove all the verts from those clusters and just leave them empty, because it's so much easier to paint that stuff in later. Otherwise that's all I do here in this stage, and then you would just hit solve, and that begins your solving phase.